when people go, "Oh, my accountant said it's all right," I say, "Is your accountant and a property developer?" They go, "No." I go, "Well, so how does he know then?" The building game is just full of people who dangle carrots in front of you, and everyone is your best mate until it goes wrong.
Hello everybody, welcome to I'm the Gaffer. It's Gavin Coyle here, and I have a great guest here today. Great, inspiring character. I'll put it to you that it's probably the best way to put it. It's David Forde, and Dave is a property expert. He's a consultant in the construction industry, and he has many years experience and a lot of information and great experiences to share with us today. Hi Dave, how are you?
I'm good, Gavin. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we were having a good old talk earlier on about the ups and downs in the building industry, and you know, I know you have a bit of an Irish connection there in the past as well. For our Irish listeners, tell us something about that. What was the background there, Dave?
Yeah, well, my mum and dad are Irish, so I was born in North London, Islington, and my dad was a builder, so that's where I started off in the building game. And I remember when I was 16, ready to leave school, mate, and I said, "Can you get me an apprenticeship?" He said, "Don't do it, son, it's a mug's game." I went, No. They said, "Don't start school, get yourself a proper job in a bank or something."
No way.
Nah.
And what apprenticeship was it, Dave?
As a spark.
As a spark, okay.
Yeah.
And was your dad a spark?
Nah, my dad was actually a pipe fitter and a plumber.
Okay.
But he had an M&A firm, but he was one of them blokes who he was good with his hands. Whatever he put his hands to, he was good at it. And so him and his mates would buy up, you know, round Islington and the old 3-story townhouses, whatever they are, Georgian or whatever, and convert them into flats. So
bit of an entrepreneur as well as everybody else,
yeah.
Not just a tradesman.
Nah.
Maybe that's where you get some of your entrepreneurial spirit, is it?
Well, I'll tell you what, he gave me a good grounding for the building game, because after working with him, right, nothing could ever be that bad. So,
oh God.
Yeah, nah.
Seriously.
So my dad was an alcoholic, so
okay.
He took no prisoners at all, because, you know, if you didn't perform, you would jeopardise his chance of making money, and they needed money to go on a drink and all that.
Yeah.
And so he was like a tyrant to work for.
He had no tolerance, basically. Had he
Nah,
kind of like
well,
suffer fools or? Yeah.
No way. But I mean, he had a right hard life. Come from Dublin, you know, his mum died giving birth to him. He was brought up in an orphanage, and when he went back home, his old man used to beat the life out of him. And
oh my God.
He come over at 16. He was a tramp on the streets. And
no way.
Yeah, you know. So he
wow.
He didn't suffer fools like.
Yeah.
You know.
But he didn't. It sounds like he didn't get everything handed to him anyway.
No, not at all.
He got a rough deck of cards. So, like, what time did you get? Like, just give me that background. Where were you in the whole cycle when you decided to go into the construction industry? Where did you go in as the apprentice, or did you go in working for your dad? Or
I went in working for my dad. I'd done my time with his firm, and at the time, Charrington's breweries, I don't think they're around anymore.
Right.
But they'd saying like 3,000 or 6,000 pubs in the whole of the south of England, that every single one they wanted to do a refurb on it, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So we had constant work. We had a big contract with Acne Council and all that. And I mean, I thought it was great. This was back in the days, drunk every single day, you know what I mean? Like, no one paid tax ever, and there was no health and safety, and you could do what I thought, this is just great, you know what I mean? Yeah.
What year was that?
That was, let's think, I think I left school in 84, I think, but I was going to work with him when I was about 10.
Right, okay, my God.
Just weekends and school holidays and food. So I
you were absorbing all that. You were listening to all those conversations like, from the age of 10. Like, that is fairly powerful, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I literally started, I was the tea boy, I was the labourer, I was the sweeping up, throw all the crap in the skip and that.
I noticed that because my father had a shop in Ballyfermot when I was growing up. And he kind of pretty much lost everything as well. and there's a lot of I know, like all that turmoil and that chaos, and like when you look back at it, no systems, no processes, no sort of logic, no proper sort of sustainable model for what was going to happen in the future. Everything was a Monday to Friday plan.
Yeah.
There was no, like, the Monday to Friday went into Saturday and Sunday, but like that was just because you were trying to make up for the mistakes of Monday to Friday,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
start all over again on the Monday.
Yeah.
But when I look back at it now, there's a lot of good information that I got where I said to myself, I'll never do that.
Right.
Or why didn't he do this, or why didn't he do that, and why
Yeah.
didn't he expand, and why didn't he sort of make it a more solid structure? But I think, back in the day, it was about survival probably more, wasn't it? Or what's your thoughts on that? Like,
There was a lot of periods of good times with loads of work.
yeah,
So you didn't really need to make a long-term strategy. You could always find work. There was always opportunities, always money.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of blokes were just content to just like, I'll just turn up on a Monday, I'll go with the flow.
Yeah.
I won't really look into how I could set myself up as a professional business, you know what I mean? And don't forget, in them days, the industry was heavy labour. Like these days, a lot of things, modern methods of construction and all this, there's not that many people needed. And like, for instance, the electrical game, that's been massively de-skilled, you know what I mean?
Yeah, talk to me about that, Dave.
Right, okay, so when I'd done my time, everything we did was steel conduit
Yeah.
and single cables, right?
Yeah.
Now, a friend of mine works on a NatWest Tower. People know that in London.
Yeah.
Iconic. Took about 12 years to build that, right? 20 odd years later, they built one just down the road, the Heron Tower, which is a similar size, little bit smaller.
Yeah.
They built that in 2 years.
Wow.
Right? So now, instead of having like fitting out an open plan office floor, you'd have 20 sparks on it, all bending conduit, taking measurements, going back. No, that ain't quite right. Cut a bit off, file it again.
Yeah.
Now it's just all coming pre-formed from the factory, electric, like 5 sockets in a long plastic
Trunking, whatever,
thing, like that. You just bolt down to the floor and make an armoured off into it.
Yeah.
So it's significantly de-skilled, less opportunity, less need for labour. But back in when I started, there was a massive need for labour. So it didn't really matter, even if you was no good, even if you was bang on the piss every day, you'd find work,
Many hands make light work. That was the same back in the day, wasn't it?
Now, you might get treated like a dog, and used and abused, but you'd probably find a job.
Yeah, and it was better than probably for school for most people at the time.
Yeah.
And that's what do you think about the barrier to entry to construction industry in general? What's your thoughts about the fact that, it's still relatively easy to get into as an industry, to walk into a job in construction, as opposed to probably most other professions? Like, fair enough, there's, fast food restaurants and stuff like that, but construction is not, it's a risky business. Like, there's a good chance you might get killed. And it's still a relatively open barrier system to get into. Do you think there's enough being done to sort of, support the people that are coming into the industry? Right.
Well, it's good that you mention that, because everyone's heard of the typical cowboy builder, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think that there's too much said about that. It gives the whole industry a bad name, right? But the reason you have cowboy builders, because there's a very, very, very low bar to entry. Literally, we're sitting in a studio now. Anyone sitting out there who's behind a desk can just stand up right this minute and go, I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a builder. Go and buy a second-hand van, old pair of ladders, some tools out of cash converters, but get a £5 pay-as-you-go SIM card and put an ad in the newsagent window, all building work undertaken, no job too small.
Yeah. And
be up and trading tomorrow and out there.
And probably no insurance or whatever.
No insurance, no health and safety training.
Yeah.
Not registered for CIS tax, no nothing.
Yeah.
And causing mayhem on people's houses, charging £3,000 here, £7,000 for that. When we go to the bigger sites, where you do have health and safety and all that, it's still relatively easy for people to break into that, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But a lot of these courses and this thing about we're professionalising the industry, a lot of it is just a big money making scheme. You know what I mean?
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Right, so you can't come on this site unless you've got this ticket in this course,
Yeah.
right? So here's the number of the company who'll do you the training. You go down there, you're paying your 150 quid or your 300 quid. You sit there for a day. Even if you don't bother taking nothing in, you just copy the answers and they'll give you the ticket and you're walking out there. And I know this for a fact because I've got, this is a good while ago now when I was still on the tools.
Yeah.
I got offered this job. It was on a Thursday and it's to start a Monday on the national grid on a generating station. Right now, that's serious stuff, HV. That is death.
Zero tolerance.
Just waiting for it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I said, "You're right, I'll have it." Next day, bloke phoned back. He said, "Have you got the iPath, the Banksman, and the Slingers ticket?" I said, "No, I ain't got any of them." He said, "Don't worry about it. I'll phone you back." He phoned me back. He said, "Right, Sunday morning, you need to go to this place," and it was right down in the Isle of Sheppey, miles away.
Yeah.
He said, "Be there at 9 o'clock." I thought, 9 o'clock Sunday morning, what's he talking about? So I've gone down there, found this place, rang the bell. It's just a little cottage, and Geezer's answered the door in his dressing gown. He went,
come on.
He went, "Oh, mate, you Dave?" I went, "Yeah." He went,
No way.
He come in, he went, "Be quiet, the missus still asleep." He went, "Two a coffee." He said, "Right, I've just been asked to give you these tickets, right?"
Come on.
He said, "I ain't putting you through no courses or nothing." And no lie, before I'd finished my coffee, I had the 3 different tickets laminated. He said, "Here, I've done the exam questions for you." He said, "I've got a couple wrong on purpose." And my mate was with me, so they said, and I've got yours wrong as well, but different ones wrong, so it don't look like that. And anyway, as it drunk that coffee, Monday morning, we're on this job. You know,
wow.
With these, now, I said to my mate, "Listen, like, if they say you got to do this thing about, I'd just walk off," you know.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of these things are just worthless.
You
know,
because I find it strange that, you know, you could be flipping burgers one day and then you're driving a 3-ton dumper
exactly
the following day. Like, how does that happen?
Exactly. You know,
like I see, I've had some experience in rope access rescue guys.
Yeah.
And guys putting up masts and stuff like that. And those guys are using a logbook. And then a supervisor has to sign off their logbook of many hours they punched in every week. Like, there's none of that. Like, you know, you literally don't know who you're absorbing into. And people talk about culture, like the culture within the business, the culture within the company, the culture on site. But sure, how can you create a culture, in my mind, if you're just pulling these people who have so different competencies, as in a low barrier competency, than maybe some of the more experienced guys? And the way I see it, I don't know if you can see this as well, but the serious, really good guys are starting to retire or move on, and now we have a sort of a vacuum where, you know, I don't see a real good conveyor belt of top people coming through, because people are probably not picking construction as a, you know, as a profession. You know, I think we're getting soft as a nation, are we?
Right. So, talking about the UK now.
Yeah.
In 2004, when the EU opened up, the 9 accession countries, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, etc., were all given the right to come and work in the UK. What happened overnight? The massive influx of cheap labour, right?
Yeah.
And the principle of free movement when the EU was set up might have been some utopian thing about, oh yes, everyone can work. The reality was, right, it was the free movement of cheap labour from poor countries to rich countries. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Britain...
It was a capitalist move.
Yeah, of course it was. Britain did not need 1 million building workers, right? They were here to be used and abused and exploited by greedy employers. That's all they were here for. And I remember I was on tools at the time, and overnight rates dropped down £30-40 a day. And I remember there were blokes in their late 50s, maybe early 60s, who were still going to do another 5-7 years before they retired. They just said, I ain't doing it. I've been doing this 40 years, and now they want me to work for I'll jack it in. I'll either have less in my retirement, or blokes was going and driving a bus, and or setting up a lawn cutting business. So we lost a massive lot of skills then.
Yeah, and brain
power, right? Then we have the thing about there's not enough apprenticeships, right? A lot of people now, they're going to work in the day and they're going to night school trying to do it themselves, as a plumber or spark or a chippy.
Yeah.
They're not getting the practical experience. And we've lost a lot of that. Then we had, they've brought out this stupid IR35 tax thing.
Yeah.
That, again, loads of people said, I am not going from paying 20% tax to 45-50%.
Yeah.
I'm going to jack. I'm going to go to Dubai. And now the problem we've got now is you've got all senior management, electrical engineers, architects. They're saying, I'm going to Dubai and I'm going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So
because of IR35.
The IR35, yeah. So not only have we got a skill shortage, we've got a brain drain as well.
So there's a political implication, as well as a sort of an institutional probably issue, and then you've also got the whole sort of population issue. Yeah, you know what I mean. So you've definitely got the wrong mix of everything, is what you're saying.
Really, it's and the people in charge, the politicians, don't seem to acknowledge this. Yeah, I'm not aware of it.
Yeah, I like a lot of the guys that will be listening to the podcast, one man in a van, right. Maybe a lad for a woman with 4 or 5 people working for them, heating and plumbing, or, just an ordinary builder. Like, in terms of managing risk, what sort of, can you give us some advice from your background in terms of managing risk? Say, for example, you're just in your first year or 2 years of on the tools, you set up your own business, because I know you've got a great consultancy practice where you help people work through all these type of issues. But obviously the highest risk is when they initially start getting involved as a business owner. And I suppose maybe you could talk to us about the whole part of becoming transferring from being a tradesperson and a really good tradesperson, and then moving into this entrepreneurial business person. Can you talk us through your experiences and where there might be pitfalls that guys can kind of say, hey, there's a roadmap here that you need to follow?
Yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of things there. Now, what I've noticed is that when times are good, there's a lot of blokes who will do that. They'll go, right, I'm for all the listeners, I'm going to refer to London. I know the rates are higher than anywhere else. This is what I know, right? So you could be on the tools in London, and honestly, it's not hard to be pulling in £2,000 a week if you want to do the hours, right? Yeah. It's not hard at all to find that.
And that's just on your own, obviously.
That's on your own. That's working for someone on the site.
On the cards.
London. No, self-employed. Forget the cards. Okay. I've never been on the cards in my life. Okay. Never, That's self-employed. And blokes think, God, this ain't bad. I mean, how about if I had 5 blokes working for me and I was making £100 a day on each? I'd be putting in 5.
Multiplying myself by 5.
And they'd take on this, it's all good and it's all great and it's never going to end, and bang, there's a little economic downturn, and all of a sudden what these blokes find is they don't put no money away for the tax. I mean, I was the worst when I was on the tools. Like, this is how I used to work it out. Every week I'd just spend everything. I'd put nothing away for tax, nothing. And then sort of about beginning of March, I think, I wonder what my tax bill's going to be this year. If I've got this, I'll take on 1,200 a week and it's going to be 10 grand. That means I need to work for 9.5 weeks, plus I need me travel, blah, blah, but that's how I used to do it. But Yes, I see blokes do that, and all of a sudden there's a little downturn.
Yeah,
and
they're not putting anything away, Dave.
That's all, but they've got no sustainable business model, right?
Okay. But they're probably not getting any advice either, Dave.
They're not getting it, but that is called confirmation bias, right?
Okay.
Is that you always want to believe the best rosy option. So when someone's coming to you going, "Here, listen, you want to be a little bit careful," I ain't always going to be like that. It's like, no, this is good. This is, go away, go. Don't burst my bubble. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, and probably their over enthusiasm and ambition is shadowing the reality and the practicality, and you know, they don't have that peck on the shoulder saying, "No, take a step back here now. Are you sure you really want to do what you're going to do?" Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I mean, I think if anyone's thinking of making a transition from worker to business owner, sure, that can be a good thing, and I do understand it. But I would say, go slowly and have a proper business plan, and make sure you understand who you're working for, because the building game is just full of people who dangle carrots in front of you, and everyone is your best mate until it goes wrong, And let me tell you something, what I've found is that when things go wrong, you will see people switch, and you will see the thin veneer of civilization disappear from these people, and you will see their true colours.
And you're on your own.
And you are on your own.
Yeah.
And these people,
you've got to go back to the family and explain,
these people
the shame
will think,
and all that kind of stuff.
Nothing of destroying you, nothing, you know what I mean? They
horrific.
just move on, and tomorrow they won't even be thinking about it. And
it's horrific.
I personally know people, and I've seen other people. They get in a little bit of financial trouble. They promise it. Okay.
And they try and work their way out of it, actually. I'll do more hours.
I'll remortgage the house.
Yeah. Oh, my God, no. Why would people think of doing that?
I'll borrow money off my mum and dad.
Yeah, worse again.
And it's all that thing.
Yeah,
and
leveraging.
And leveraging from the wrong people.
Yeah.
Because when it all goes pop, I mean, I'm not saying you can just knock banks and that, but there is a case where you can go to the bank and go, look, we had a business deal, you lent me money to make money, unfortunately it's gone wrong and I can't pay you.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say that to your best mate or your girlfriend's mum and dad, or who've lent you their life savings, which was only 20 grand.
There's a massive ripple, isn't there? But the other thing I've seen, and I still see it today, David, is reliance on an accountant to tell you whether you're doing the right thing or not. Oh, well, I spoke to my accountant on that, and he said, no, it's no problem. I can take that job on easily.
So anyway, I'll tell you again. Up until a few years ago, I had an accountant like that. Now I've got a proper accountant, right? He's an accountant, he's a business advisor, and he's a tax specialist as well.
Let's be clear about that. There's a massive difference between a business advisor and an accountant.
A lot of accountants, a hell of a lot of them, are nothing more than bookkeepers.
Yeah.
That's all they are.
Yeah. And that's no disrespect to them.
That's no disrespect to them.
It's a core focus of theirs. They're not entrepreneurials. They don't think about, any of the stuff that is important in terms of operations and systems and processes. And
we can just quickly sort of diverge away from that.
Yeah.
Because I do property development as well.
That's right.
And when people go, my accountant said it's all right, the first thing I say to them, I say, does your accountant, is he a property developer? Because mine is as well. I say, is your accountant and a property developer? I go, no. I go, well, so how does he know then?
Yeah.
And a lot of accountants don't even understand tax. That's the truth. You know what I mean?
That's right.
How it goes, so the big bloke on the tools, chippy plumber spark, he's making 50 grand a year. He needs someone to do his self-assessment.
Yeah.
He looks in the yellow pages, or he's walking down his local high street, he sees accountants, walks in, hello, I'm self-employed, sole trader, how much to do my end of year tax returns? 300 quid. All right, I'll send you the stuff. And they just stay with that for 10 years.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, you're getting a couple of vans on HP, you open up credit accounts with suppliers, but you're still with the little high street accountant.
Yeah.
And it's not, you need a business advisor.
So he's not ringing you. He's not thinking about you. When you're going out that door, he is not thinking about, or she's not thinking about you. You're gone out that door, and that's it.
Really,
but like even from talking to some of the tradesmen that set themselves up, Dave, they even talk about like as if the accountant is nearly, a co-partner nearly in the whole business. You're listening and going, that person's totally independent of you, and they actually can't advise on certain things anyway because they're bound, and they're from a legislative point of view. I'm not saying that anyone wants to bend the rules, but they can't give it to you straight. Because there's only certain things they can give you, and that's turning over your returns at the end of the year. They don't talk about where are you putting a third away for the business. Are you putting a third in cash flow? Are you putting a third on invoiced discounting or whatever's going on? They're giving you no strategies.
No, I mean, if you want your accountant involved in your business growth, right? He should be phoning you up once a month saying, what's going on? How much you turnover? What you got planned for the next 3 months?
Yeah.
I mean, let's have a look at that. Right, this all sounds good, but hold on, you're going to have a massive tax bill. What we need to do, we need to set up some different structures and all that for tax efficiency.
Yeah.
That's what you need from an accountant, but that's tax planning and that's business advice as well.
But it's like it's building sustainable models into your business so that you don't have that off the cliff edge moment.
No, and it's building sustainable business models. It's also not growing too fast.
Yeah.
Right, it's de-risking it.
That's a great comment, actually. Yeah,
because you could say to your accountant, I've got £1 million worth of work, and he'll go, hang on, last year you only made 50 grand. This £1 million, well, what have you got to supply the gear? I've opened up £500,000 worth of credit accounts. You're mad.
You don't have capacity, pal.
You're not that. But that's what you need, someone to be able to rein you in. Or go over a 1 year growth plan, 3 years and 5 years.
Yeah. So you're nearly probably better off having a really good bookkeeper and then having maybe a business advisor that has construction experience or property development experience or plumbing and heating or whatever. That can kind of check you. I think that's probably what we're saying, isn't it? Lads are not being checked.
Definitely.
And then they've got, as you say, that enthusiasm and ambition and drive. It doesn't belong. The burst balloon happens like boom, and next thing all of a sudden all the bills are coming in, all the phone calls are starting. Now you haven't got time to even finish the job you're doing because you're chasing money and you're trying to chase people.
Right, so that's a very common thing that happens. Bloke will set up on his own. He gets one lucrative project and it's very good. The relationship with the employer is great and the men he's employing on that job is great and he's getting paid on time and it's all good. And then he gets a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth job, right? Assuming they're all going to be like that. However, like jobs 2, 4 and 5 are not like that, you know what I mean? They're a headache. And now, where job 1 was only good because he could devote himself to that. Now he ain't got the time. He's constantly being dragged away to these low value things, but that he's contractually committed to. So job 1 now starts to go down the pan. The blokes start thinking, he ain't here, he's gone to be able to come, we'll do the off, and all that goes down. And now you find that you're up to 11 o'clock at night indoors in the bedroom on your own doing paperwork and writing emails, and you look at the money that's coming in and all your blokes are taking home £1,000 a week. When you average it all out, you're probably taking home about £300 a week. You know, and you think, hang on, what happened now? Because when I worked with myself, I was taking home £1,500 and I'd just finish at 5 o'clock on a Friday and it was all good till tomorrow. But now it's just I'm not seeing the family, the kids. I'm locked in this little office indoors, desperately fighting fires. All these people who were my mates who offered me this work, they're all hard work now. They bang on my case.
And they got mortgages and families to feed. And now you're part of their conversations. Unbelievable. Like, do you see? I suppose where we're at in the building industry at the moment. Do you see massive risk in the system for these small to medium owner occupiers, tradespeople.
There is definitely, yeah, there is. And another thing that I see that is twice as bad is the blokes who go from sole trader to business owner, then they try to break into the sort of the main circuit, with the tier one contracts,
tier one stuff.
Oh God, that is just
that's writing your own debt warrant.
That is putting your hand into the alligator pit,
Yeah. But like, I have seen where that's worked, where maybe you're not fully understanding where the market is, you're only starting, and you kind of need that first job to get yourself in a bit of skin in the game. But I think what I've seen is people then don't get to the situation where, get the check, get the first couple of checks, or maybe the first year out of the way, and then pull back out of there and go back to your core focus and what you have the capacity to deliver in.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that what I've seen and what I've heard as well, the tier one companies kind of massage these guys and tell them they're brilliant and you're great and you're going to do great things and you're doing a massive job and everybody's talking about you and blah blah blah, and then by the way, we've another job down the road, would you come on down and price that for us as well? And before they know it, they're in this trap where there's so much money waiting to come in, that this tier one company has pretty much soaked up all of their business, and their whole business model has become defined by one company. I fear for a lot of guys that are kind of caught, and anyone that's listening, that they're probably resonate with this, where they're actually caught and trapped in that model. And as you say, the alligator is just waiting for you, and if it's not you, it's somebody else. It's frightening.
I've seen I was a money monster, right? So I went everywhere. I didn't want a nice steady job, I just wanted the big money. I didn't care where it was.
But you're grafting as well.
Travel or what the hours, I didn't care. So I've done loads and loads of projects. Probably from being on a job one day to 5 years, I've probably done way over 1,000 different places I've been, So I've seen a lot of conversations and I've listened to a lot of people in all various roles that I've had, whether it been on tools, project manager, site manager, whatever. And the amount of people I've seen walking around with the big bosses, and they're brand new, these people, and they're going, and what we can give is this. Oh, and do you want to do the CCTV as well? And what about the lightning protector? Well, we can do that. And I'm looking up thinking, oh, mate, why didn't you just stay with the original little 10 grand bit of work they offered you? You know what I mean? Because you probably had a chance of getting that. They're going to draw you in there.
And there is a shortage of labour, so there's no real excuse for it, is there?
Not really.
There's plenty of work out there. There's enough work in the domestic market for a small person, and this is probably another podcast for another day. But should people actually be going into the mainstream commercial market?
Well, now that's the thing. I mean, if you were a sort of small trader, but let's say 5 blokes working for you, 2-3 vans maybe. The best sort of work you want to get is with local authorities, schools and councils and things like that, because that's steady, you're going to get paid. And when they offer you more work, that's good, because they are going to pay you.
You don't have to protest for your money.
No, not at all, not at all. And that's where you want to be, but it's this chasing the big bucks thing, which obviously I can understand, but it just comes with so much risk. And it's the headache that comes with it. You know what I mean? People think everything is about the money. Of course, money's a major thing in life, but it's the grief and the headache and the worry and the sleepless nights and the wrecking your marriage and your kids and
before you know it,
and your health and everything. And do you really need that for the chance to make maybe another £500 a week?
Well, the tier one companies definitely know how much it's costing them. How much it's costing the actual tradespeople, and they know because they've had the experience back in the day of when they were on the tools, how much labour and time and effort it takes to build something. But now they've created this genius model where we're not going to do anything anymore, but we're going to just manage you because you're ignorant and you don't have the tools to manage yourself. So what we'll do is we'll create a nice little environment for you. We'll create little proper structures and systems and processes, and we'll monitor you to make sure that you deliver a job for us, and then you'll cash flow this job for us for the plumbing and heating part, or for the carpentry part, or for the drywall part, or whatever else. I think that's what's going on as well in some areas of the market, the construction market, and that has never been, sort of corrected. And I think, for anyone that's listening to the podcast, if you're going to get caught up into this area, you want to be damn sure that you've risk managed or risk profiled what you're walking into. And I don't think they're doing it, Dave.
Well, if anyone's listening to this thinking of going that way, first of all, you're now moving into a major world of construction contracts and construction law and everything, where you need to be paying serious money to QSs, etc., to advise you. They're all on £400-500 a day, because you're really getting into a whole world that probably you've never heard of. You know what I mean? Smash and grab adjudications, retentions, stuff that people, being an honest person and good at your job in this world is not enough.
Doesn't cut it.
Nah, that's more is needed than that. And you've got to ask yourself, do you really want to go down that road? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can say, but there's £250,000 profit in this. But that's if you get to the end.
Yeah.
You got to get there first.
Turnover is vanity.
Profit is sanity.
Profit is sanity, and it's so true. And what about the other part of people? Just you've made a great point there, where can you do the electrics? Can you do the CCTV? I get me mate to come in and do the CCTV, and then it goes on to more and more stuff. Stick to what your focus is, what you're good at. Unless you have, a multi, divisional company that has the operational structure and you have the money to back that up, you shouldn't be getting involved in other stuff.
Well, I've just found throughout my life, I've had a couple of companies in my time, and if I ever took on any sort of substantial work, I would have blokes with me who I knew I'd known for 20 years. I worked on numerous jobs with them and I could rely on them, right? But as soon as you start getting bigger, you got to have people, my mate's looking for a start. Is he any good? All right, tell him to start, and then he turns up and goes, my mate's looking for a start. And then his mate's brother's looking for a start, but all you might need to go to labour agencies. Now you don't know who's working for you. Right? All you know is them blokes are not committed to the success of that project as you are, because they haven't got as much riding on it as you are. And this is the problem.
There's a common business model as well, isn't there? That if you're not making it by year 5, you might as well just pack it up and go home. The problem is, I suppose, in construction, if you've put your foot into the wrong market for the wrong reasons, and you're down a rabbit hole, within 12 months to 24 months, you could have serious risk on the table in terms of bringing the whole thing down around you. I think out of a lot of industries, the catastrophic failure of individuals and construction companies, it comes very fast, doesn't it? It's not something that you see in other industries. I heard of a couple of major, main contractor fit out companies and stuff like that recently going to the wall, and it's in the millions. The collateral damage is in the millions, but you kind of go, how come no one's seen this coming? Even some, I'm not talking about small to medium tradespeople now. I'm talking about large, 100 million type companies going to the wall. Is there something going on that we don't know about, that there isn't a due diligence process going on, or an independent sort of review of these companies to see have they got what they say they have in terms of liquidity within the business? Have you anything to say on that?
I don't know. Whenever I hear of that, I always think did someone know and just didn't want to say anything? It was just hoping it would just rectify itself or whatever. But
no, like I've seen. Like, we don't have to go down the Carillion case, for example. Look, everybody knows what happened there in that case. But like, I'm talking, strong companies that you would have felt that they were, well able to hold their own. And then, even for the tradesperson, for the ordinary person listening to this in the van or whatever else on the way home, like, they probably have no notion at all, because nobody opens up and says, by the way, just to let you know, we've only got 6 months cash left in the business or whatever. They don't get any of that indication.
Nah.
They just get, don't come into the job on Monday, everything's gone, locked up, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hope to see you in the future.
Yeah.
I suppose with the low barrier to entry for people to get into construction, then you have a bigger population in construction, obviously. And now you've got this sort of toxic mix of really good companies who are very ethical and very sort of on point. Then you got the sort of not so good companies, not so much structures, smash and grab type companies will go in and we'll make as much money as we can, and we'll offset all the risk on the contractors. And then you got some of the smarter guys that are kind of like always around, but ruthless at the same time. And then you've got the sort of guys that are just trying to come up through the channel and just grafting it every day and just hoping that they get paid. Like you nearly need to do a whole course on risk management in construction before you actually go into construction as a business owner, would you say?
Oh, you really do. You've got to have systems and processes in place, and you've got to understand risk, what I mean? And it's like whenever I consult for people doing a property project, the very first thing I say, have you done a risk register? And they go, what's that?
Brilliant.
I go, well, what do you mean? What are the risks? I go, I don't know. I go, so if something goes wrong, how are you going to deal with it? Well, I don't know. Well, don't you think you should, start? It's like that with a business. You got to look like, if
you got to look at the failure first and work your way back to the
So if this happens, could I ride with it? Or would it severely impact me? Right.
Or how much of a window have I got?
Or how much reserve or buffer, or what could I do? What I mean? And that's that is just common sense.
I don't know. Like, I know it's common sense because me and you were sitting here.
But
when you're doing 3 or 4 tenders, the next thing all of a sudden you get a phone call and say, "Oh yeah, you're after winning that tender." And I go, "Did I?" And he said, "Well, I'm going to have to tool up now," rather than ringing that guy up and saying, "Yeah, I know I've won that tender. I don't have the capacity to deliver that tender." I think there's something in our psyche that says, "Take the job."
Definitely. I understand that, because you think, if I knock him back, he'll never phone me again, and maybe the word will get round and I'll let him down and all that. But I mean, it's just
but I think, as you say, you're putting your family at risk here. You're putting your kids. You're putting their college funds. You're putting your health. You made it very clear earlier on. Tell me, Dave, just give us some insight into your own business. Where can we find you? Like, websites. If I'm going looking for Dave Forde, where is he?
Well, that's very easy. It's www.daveforde.com.
Okay, and you're on LinkedIn as well, no?
I'm on LinkedIn as well,
So just Dave Forde.
Just Dave Forde.
Forde with an E, or
with an E,
so you don't have much problems with that. Forde and being connected with Henry Ford. It's just it's a different Ford.
No, it's a different Ford. It's the Irish. My dad said it was the rebel spelling.
The rebels.
So I don't know. So that's I've got a multidisciplinary construction consultancy, and you can find me on now.
You're very well known in the industry. Like, you're on property TV as well, on the Sky. Tell us something about that. Can we see you once a month there, or once a week?
That's Sky Channel 186 property TV.
Okay.
And I'm sort of like a resident construction expert.
Brilliant.
And attempt to stop people making disastrous mistakes and losing money.
Well, you're definitely the guru in the right space, and like for any of our listeners, I hope they get in touch, and I hope they take some great inspiration and some learnings from yourself today. And Dave, I can't thank you enough for coming in, and we'll stay in touch, I'm sure, for the future.
Sure, yeah. Big pleasure, yeah. Been lovely to be here. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Dave.